I've always tried to be the perfect student, the perfect daughter, the perfect friend, the perfect girlfriend. I've always tried to be perfect for everybody. And the thing that I have realized more than ever this year is that that has gotten me nowhere. For me, I seek a lot of reassurance from friends and from people in my life because I never really got that growing up. I still feel like I'm not allowed to make mistakes because I feel like no one's gonna be there for me if I make a mistake, and that's part of the fear. I feel like I don't have anyone to pick me up when I fall down. It's like I any little misstep, I was gonna get fussed at, I was gonna get ridiculed. Like there were even times where I would bring home a report card and I would have straight A's and one B, and she would be like, "What? Why is this B on here?" I've always tried to maneuver in a way that was pleasing to other people, so then that way they would have no reason to cut me off. Like I always made myself available to people. I always did favors for people. I always made sure that other people were okay, even if I wasn't getting that in return, because I wanted to be seen as a perfect friend. I'm done trying to be perfect for everybody. So what's perfect for me? Like what do I want to do? What do I want my life to look like? Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back in the video, and we are back in a familiar location. If you guys have been on my channel for a while now, you guys know that while I was filming during the pandemic, I would record in my kitchen a lot. So we are back in the kitchen, and oh my gosh, I like this new lighting setup way better. Part of why I even filmed in the other room is because when I bought a webcam, the quality in here was garbage. Like I couldn't like get the lighting to look right. It either looked too orange or too blue, and I couldn't get it, I couldn't get it right. But now that I have this new camera that, adapts to any environment that I'm in, I'm like, what, let's change up the scenery a little bit and let's get back in the kitchen. And yeah, I'm liking it so far. But yeah, so part of why too I wanted to kind of change up the scenery a little bit is because I wanted to kind of change up the content again on my channel. So again, if you guys have been following my channel for a while now, you guys know that I tend to go back and forth between doing reaction videos and sit down talk videos. And as much as I do love to do reaction videos, and I still might do reaction videos from time to time, I do want to kind of get back to what made me love doing YouTube in the first place, which is just me getting in front of a camera, sitting down, and talking about whatever is on my mind or whatever I'm going through. And granted, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit worried about it because even though I am monetized now, I feel like a lot of my viewership came from the reactions, and I want people to watch these type of videos because I enjoy making this type of content the best. And so I am a little worried that the views and stuff are gonna probably decline a bit, but I do want to try to give it another chance and see where I go from here. But yeah. And basically, the topic that I wanted to cover in this video is a topic that I have, this is something that I have been kind of pondering on a lot recently. It's kind of been this wake up call that I've had in this year, with everything that's been going on in my life. And I actually recently just watched a YouTube video where I heard somebody talking about this, and everything she said was spot on, and it inspired me to make a video about it. And so basically, what I want to get into in this video is me basically coming to the conclusion that I'm done trying to be perfect. And for me, right, it's like, you grow up hearing, time and time again, like there's no such thing as being perfect, right? And so, obviously I know that from a surface level perspective. But when I look back on my life and when I look back on, how I've lived my life, I feel like I've always tried to live a life of perfection. I've always tried to be the perfect student, the perfect daughter, the perfect friend, the perfect girlfriend. I've always tried to be perfect for everybody. And the thing that I have realized more than ever this year is that that has gotten me nowhere. Me trying to be perfect has gotten me literally nowhere. Me trying to do the right thing has gotten me nowhere. And I noticed too that, me doing the right thing has been whatever I feel other people deem as the right thing. And I've noticed that I pretty much have been living my life for everybody else, and it literally has gotten me zero. And part of why I came to this epiphany is because of just how rough this year has been. Because you get told your entire life that if you do everything right and you do everything you're supposed to do, and you put out good energy out there, and if you're a good person, if you do all of these good things, the universe will reward you. And this is also part of why too I don't really believe in like karma manifestation like that. It's because I do genuinely feel like I've been a good person and I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Like, again, when I was in school from kindergarten all the way through college, I've always been a really good student. Obviously, when I got to college, my grades dwindled a little bit, but at least I could say from kindergarten through high school, always made A's. Had a couple of straight A's, report cards. I was always a really good student. I was always well behaved. Never got in trouble. Never stole anything. Like, I literally was just telling my friend the other day, like, I was that student that would see that someone left a pencil on the desk, and instead of taking it, I would give it to the teacher. Like, I always tried to live like what I would call a perfect Christian life, because I did grow up Christian and that was a big part of my upbringing. And so that's how I kind of always lived my life. But I've noticed that it hasn't really gotten me anywhere. And that's not to say that I just completely give up on religion, or that I'm just going to, turn, completely left. But I've noticed that me trying to live up to this perfect image has gotten me nowhere. And I did all of that thinking that the universe was going to reward me. It's like, okay, if I'm a good person and I'm nice to people and I do what I'm supposed to do and I don't get into anything, crazy, that things will happen for me because I deserve it. And unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. And part of why too I don't believe in karma is because I see so many other people who don't do that. Like, I know people who, I don't want to say are worse, but people who, aren't as truthful, aren't as giving, people that are very selfish, manipulative, people that lie, people that, like people that haven't done even a quarter as much as I've done for other people, and just like in general, and they get rewarded. They get everything that they want. I mean, look at some of these, like, look at the people that are in power. Look at the people that have wealth. Look at the people that are successful. 99% of them have some type of like horrible past, or they're just horrible people behind the scenes, but they get, rewarded for it almost. And then you see like good people, like good genuine people, you see them getting fucked over and not getting the things that they deserve. And I just don't feel like that's fair. And I know part of me trying to be perfect as well has a little bit to do with my upbringing. I feel like, I do like to people please. I'm not sure where that comes from, but I like to people please, and that includes, my upbringing and, my family. And so for me, right, I grew up in a single parent household. My mom, raised me, and I feel like I spent my entire life even trying to prove myself to her, and, always try to seek that validation, because that's the other thing too. It's like, for me, I seek a lot of reassurance from friends and from people in my life, because I never really got that growing up. Now, I'm not saying that my mom has never given me props or never given me compliments, but it was very far and few in between. And a lot of the times I would have to ask for it, like, hey, like, I did this thing, like, you didn't say anything about it, or, oh, well, I got all these, like, there were even times where I would bring home a report card and I would have straight A's and one B, and she would be like, what, why is this B on here? And so it always just felt like I was never enough. So I was always striving for perfection, and always striving for that validation from people. And the same thing goes with my friendships. I always try to be the perfect friend. I would always overextend myself. And that's something that I have worked very, very hard on this year. And I feel like I have made some progress in that area. But yeah, I'm someone that will overextend. I'll, go above and beyond for people's, birthday gifts. I'll, like, I'm always there in any capacity, whether it's even me staying up until 4 in the morning to hear someone vent. Like, I always made myself available to people. I always did favors for people. I always made sure that other people were okay, even if I wasn't getting that in return, because I wanted to be seen as a perfect friend, and I wanted to be seen as, worth it, because I was having a really hard time too with just keeping friends. Like, I felt like people would always just get annoyed with me. I was very disposable to people. And that was something that I just could not handle. And I even have a hard time dealing with that today in terms of letting people go. And so I would hold on to those friendships for dear life, because it just seemed like every time I try, it felt like no matter how much I did for people, people still came to the conclusion that I wasn't good enough to be in their lives, and they would just cut me off. And it could be the littlest thing of just like I talk too much or I'm too annoying, and which also led me into being a very quiet and reserved person, because I'm like, I don't want to turn people off from my personality, which happened a lot growing up. And so I've always tried to maneuver in a way that was pleasing to other people, so then that way they would have no reason to cut me off. But I never, that never happened. And so for me, it's like I grew up, and even now people will say like I'm a very reliable person, I'm always there, because it's like, because in my mind it's been ingrained that if I am a good person, if I am a good friend, and if I'm always there for people, they won't leave. They won't leave, and they'll be there, and I won't have to worry about, not having friends. But I still ran into those issues. And for me, it's like I'm not perfect, right? I do slip up. I do have moments where I may not be, showcasing my best self. And I felt like in a lot of those instances, people would be so quick to cut me off. And it's like I would tolerate so much from other people. Like, people would take their frustrations out on me a lot. People would leave me out of stuff. People would say mean things to me, and I would just forgive, forgive, forgive. But it's like as soon as I maybe, like, I don't know, made a joke that offended somebody, or just did something that someone didn't like, I immediately got cut off. And it would devastate me, because I would always go back to that whole thing of like, well, how much more could I have possibly have done to keep this person around? And I even felt like that recently with my breakup. I felt like I did everything I possibly could to prevent that person from wanting it to end at all, and it still ended. And so in these, like, constant situations where I'm like losing people, I always find myself being like, well, what more could I have done? Because everything that I typically do in friendships, relationships, is to keep that person around. Granted, I am just like a naturally giving person, and I just like to make people happy. But also in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I do this, if I do that, if I buy this many gifts, if I do all of this, they'll stay. They'll stay, and they won't leave. But that just hasn't been always proven to be the case. And yeah, even like with friendships too, is like I've noticed, and I'm starting to come to terms with this too, is like even with friendships, people tend to gravitate towards those that are more similar to them, and all the other things don't really matter, like how they show up for them as a friend, how reliable they are. Like, I'm noticing more and more people don't really care about that stuff anymore. They just care to be around people that are similar to them, that think the same as them, that are into the same things as them. And so for me, it's like it doesn't matter how much I have shown up for a person or done for somebody, but because I may not be into the same things that they're into, they just don't view me as a close friend that they can have. And I never really understood that, even though I'm coming to understand that now. And what I've noticed is that even in me being this, perfect person and expecting the universe to reward me for it, I feel like it stunted me a lot. Because again, I see people who, they aren't perfect, they make mistakes. They're allowed to make mistakes. I see them grow further along in life than me. And that was another thing too. Growing up, I felt like I wasn't really allowed to make mistakes. Um, which again is crazy looking back, because again, I was a really good child. Like, I wasn't into anything crazy, never touched any drugs, alcohol, still won't touch alcohol. Like, I always did everything right, got good grades, and I always told the truth. Like, because like when kids lie typically to get out of trouble, I never even did that. I would tell the truth knowing I was gonna get yelled at, and I would always get yelled at. But that goes back to my point of like, it's like I any little misstep, I was gonna get fussed at, I was gonna get ridiculed, I was gonna get yelled at. And I feel like even in my adulthood, I still deal with that. And that's part of why, too, I kind of want to leave from home, because it's like I'm always being, I don't want to say picked apart, but, picked at for every little misstep that I make. And it's like, well, what about all the good that I'm doing? Like, can I get praise for the things that I am doing? And it's just very, very frustrating. And I feel like, I feel like I finally reached that point where I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done trying to be perfect for everybody. I'm done trying to, always do the right thing, whatever that even means. And you know what? I'm just at a point where I just want to live my life. And I want to be able to make mistakes, cuz I still feel like I'm not allowed to make mistakes, because I feel like no one's going to be there for me if I make a mistake, and that's part of the fear. I feel like I don't have anyone to pick me up when I fall down. I feel like people are so quick to be like, "See, I told you so. I told you you shouldn't have done that." As opposed to just being like, "You know what? It's okay. You made a mistake. How do we move forward?" I don't feel like I have that comfort and that safety net, and that's why I get so scared to even make mistakes, cuz I'm just like, no one's going to be there to help me. Or at least I don't feel like that. I don't feel that support. I feel like everyone's just telling me what to do. But if I stray away from that at all, people are just like, "Oh, well, I told you so." And it's just like I'm trying. I'm learning, and it's just very frustrating. And yeah, so I'm just like in this, you know, era of being like, okay, so what's perfect for me? Like what do I want to do? What do I want my life to look like? Because again, I'm just tired of trying to live up to this perfect image. And yeah, religion does play a little bit, of a factor, because I will say, like, my faith has been tested a lot this year. It's been tested a lot in the past, especially when I was dealing with a lot of my heavy, like, mental health issues, because I just was in that phase of like, okay, why am I, like, why do I have to be miserable? Like, why do I have to feel miserable every single day? Like, I do so much for other people, and I always make sure that other people are good. Why do I have to, deal with this and experience this? And so, for me, I'm just really trying to figure out, okay, like, the balance, I guess, what I want to do, but also still trying to, I don't know. It's really complicated, and it's like, again, I don't want to just completely remove religion from my life, because I do still believe in the Lord, and I do still believe, I do still follow behind those beliefs, but it does feel like even that, like, even me trying to be like the perfect Christian, I feel like it's hindered me more than helped me to improve in life. Like, I feel like it's affected my friendships. I feel like it's affected my life, like my social life. It's definitely affected me, with my dating life, because you're told that you can't do nothing, until you're like married, and so, like, that's played a factor. Like, it's just really hard. And yeah, I just really been having that epiphany and that reflection, of the span of my life, because again, it's like you also get told too, like, you go through hardships, to get to something better. And I just feel like that hasn't really been happening for me. And especially again with the crap I went through in high school, I just would have thought that after having, experienced terrible friendships, that I would have been rewarded with good friendships. And granted, I feel like I have good people in my life, but as I spoke about before, like, I don't really have, I don't know, my life isn't where I wanted it to be. Not even just career wise, which is a whole nother can of worms, but even just in my friendships and just in life. Like, I just feel so stagnant, and it just feels like this is what I get. This is the reward that I'm getting from the universe for being such a good person. I get stuck at home, can't find a full-time job. I lose my relationship, I lose friendships. Don't really have a whole lot of, not even a whole, like, people say, like, oh, like, all you need is like two or three. Yeah, like, I don't even have two or three, like, girls that I can consider like my best friends, that I talk to every single day, that I constantly hang out with. Granted, I can't hang out with anybody right now because I'm stuck at home. But even prior to me being stuck at home, even when I was, at college, had a hard time making friends and keeping friends, and people didn't really want to hang around me, mostly because I didn't party and drink, but just in general couldn't really you know, like it's just like I feel like I'm just like everything that I'm being given right now I don't deserve, considering everything I have done for people. And again, like I'm not really gonna, I don't really want to go into detail because some things I don't even want to say on camera, but like I've even put myself in danger to be there for friends. And those same people didn't even bother to prioritize me at all and constantly made me feel like I was a burden, even though I was putting up with all their mess. And so it's just like, like this is the things I get for doing all of this, and again trying to be a good friend, good, like just trying to be perfect for everybody. I just feel like I don't get rewarded for it at all. I just keep getting fucked over. So it's just like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, what is the goal? Like, what, how am I supposed to be handling life and handling these friendships? Like, I don't know. That's just something that I've been, grappling with recently. But yeah, I say all that to say though, I do feel myself kind of shifting in my mindset, and I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of over being perfect, trying to do the right thing, not trying to make any mistakes. Mistakes are bound to happen. And it sucks because again, I feel like I don't really have, a lot of people that are willing to, like, people in general. I don't know what it is. I hate this era that we're in where everyone's just like only thinking about themselves, don't want to help nobody out, don't want to be there for nobody. But for me, it's just like, I'm at a space where it's like, okay, I feel like I'm at rock bottom. I genuinely feel like I am at rock bottom. And so I can only go up from here. And so I might as well just try some stuff out and see where it goes. I might as well just have to take more risks and just go for it. And if I mess up, I mess up. That's another thing too. It's like I even have a hard time making decisions for myself because it's like I don't want to make a wrong mistake. Even me right now trying to figure out where I want to live at, away from home. I'm trying to weigh the pros and cons of that, and I'm like, I don't want to, sign a lease and live somewhere, and then I realize, oh, this is not what I wanted, and then I'm stuck there. It's just all of that fear creeping in of like just wanting to make sure that every single step that I make is the right step. But I know that that's putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I know that I can't continue to do that. And so yeah, I'm just, yeah. I'm at a place where I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to live up to everybody else's expectations. Like I said, where religion is a little bit deeper, but just on the surface level, I'm just over trying to please people. I'm over trying to like overextend myself and trying to prove myself to people. At the end of the day, I am who I am, and either I'm enough for you or I'm not. I'm not gonna keep trying to do extra things. And granted, that's hard because again, I've been like that my entire life, so it's something that I have to unlearn. But I am getting to that point where I'm like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm not gonna keep trying to be perfect. I'm not gonna keep trying to prove that I'm a good friend because I am. I'm not gonna keep trying to prove I'm a good person because I know that I am. And I'm not gonna keep trying to prove that, like that I'm just worthy of being in people's lives. And I'm not gonna keep trying to prove that, I'm capable. Like that's another thing too. It's like sometimes I don't even believe that I'm capable because other people may not believe that I'm capable. And I need to get out of that. And again, it just goes back to me seeking validation from people. And I know I shouldn't do that, but I'm just being honest. I'm being honest. I do have a tendency to seek validation from other people. And so I'm going to try to just, do me, go with my gut, make my own decisions, and see where it leads me. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to my rant. If you guys watch this whole video, I really appreciate it if you guys do. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like on this video if you guys enjoy this type of content. And yeah, if you guys liked it, again, make sure you guys hit the like button. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts are, if you guys could relate to anything that I said in the video. And make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you guys know when I drop new videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.